Let's not kid ourselves that this is the most anticipated film of 2024, the most hyped film of 2024, and the most polarizing film of recent times. Pushpa 2 has been in the news in the last few days for the insane craze that is associated with it. The advanced bookings for the film are through the roof, and me and you as viewers of cinema just hoped and wished Sukumar delivered a banger. Even if I was not really a fan of the first film, even if the sequel is 3 hours and 21 minutes long, Animal did it, right? So can Pushpa. I hope this video and the space of the comments can be about the film and its content versus just a back and forth between me talking about the elements of the film and you shoving down box office numbers in my face. The film is either getting extremely positive reviews, I mean blockbuster, never seen before kind of reviews, calling it a masterpiece of mass cinema, or it is absolutely roasting it, left, right and center. And I cannot possibly be on either end because the performance of Allu Arjun in this film holds me back from doing either. You have that meme na, Allu Arjun ki wajah se chup hu? It's precisely that. Everyone has told me that I have been way too harsh on the first part and that the real sauce is in part 2. So did Sukumar and Allu Arjun really cook? Far from it. So let's pack in. Pushpa 2 is a continuation of where we left off with the first film 3 years ago. Quite a surprise, right? In an era where most sequels have nothing to do with the first film, it's hilarious that a sequel being a part 2 in its truest sense is an anomaly. So we have Pushpa played by Allu Arjun, who is reigning supreme in the Red Sandalwood Syndicate. The man has eliminated competition on his way up, has given a huge true smack across the face to the Reddys and Mangalam Srinu, and is now under the scanner of the new police in town, Bhavar Singh Shekhawat, played by Fahadh Faasil. We assumed that Pushpa at one point of time was towing the line with Bhavar Singh, being subservient to him, only for it to be a ruse and show him his place by stripping him down in the final act of the first film. While part 2 focuses on the rise of Pushpa, both monetarily and in influence, and of the syndicate reaching international waters where Pushpa is leading the charge in every way, surprisingly, and I am so glad about this, Sukumar lays focus on the inner turmoil within Pushpa that pushes him to prove himself and seek validation from the world. A commentary on the symbolism of him being a wildflower, shedding light on his familial conflict and the lack of love and warmth he has received since a young age. How his relationship with Srivalli develops as they are now a married couple, and how boundless power leads to him being in direct conflict with Fahadh Faasil forms the basic premise of Pushpa the Rule Part 2. Is there more to the story as it progresses beyond this? Let's pack in everything with a non-spoiler review first. So here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of Pushpa 2 so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch it in theaters or not. Left the best song and choreography for the theater. When I say I love Allu Arjun dancing, I mean it with absolute admiration for the effortless nature with which he moves. However, most of the choreography in this film is beyond embarrassing, but they did leave the best song and choreography to be experienced in the theatre. This song is performed by Allu Arjun as he embodies the role of goddess Kali and pays penance through his trance-like state. When you see the small glimpse of Allu Arjun almost as if he has been taken over by a power, you see why I resist myself from absolutely dissecting and annihilating this film, because you see the sheer dedication of the man to this role and the task at hand. It's a sight to behold on the big screen as Allu Arjun absolutely eats up the screen. For all the disservice that the marketing of this film has done, at least for some regarding its terrible music, I think a glimpse of this song could have actually made even the skeptics think, wow, this can be something special. Terrible music integration and lyrics. While I rave about one song sequence, I will not argue with someone who is going to be raving about the music composed by DSP for this film, because it is a huge come down in quality, and I mean this with no exaggeration, a huge come down in quality compared to the first film. One of the main reasons for the euphoria and celebration of Pushpa in the Hindi market were the melodious songs of Sami, Srivalli, and even a good dance number like O Antava. But the integration of the music in part 2 and even the quality quality of the songs is beyond embarrassing. The worst part about this film is that it wants us to be ready for the music, where the characters literally sing the songs in various scenes so that you're ready for it to come out of nowhere. But the songs are so random in the screenplay that the makers could have easily introspected and cut down on its indulgent 3 hours and 21-minute running time. I love to see Allu Arjun dance. For those who have followed the channel, you know how much I love him. You've got a song like Feelings though, where it is less of a choreography and more of synchronized groping. The state of choreography also makes me want to look away, where I'm just seeing Allu Arjun biting and devouring Rashmika in every frame. You've got a song like Kisik, right? I mean, at least O Antava was a syndication meeting of sorts, a celebration that Pushpa circumvented the police somehow. But Kisik is a party for Srivali, where they are cutting a cake for his, devoted wife. But Pushpa is also literally grinding Srilila in the hook step in the scene right after. Even a title song like Pushpa Pushpa, a celebration of our leading hero, is only visually appealing in scale on the number of dancers in the frame. But the quality of the music is extremely underwhelming. What I can give credit to is that in some portions, the score is exhilarating, allowing for you to have some moments of fun in the mass dialogue delivery and talking that happens between Bhavar Singh Shekhawat and Pushpa, and the case of Pushpa turning into literally Edward Cullen in an action set piece in the concluding moments. The Feud and the Allu Arjun Show. This is a movie that is entirely resting on the shoulders of the performance of Allu Arjun, because the absolute come down in quality of the storytelling that you experience after the interval is like a steep roller coaster that just pummels to the ground. My experience of watching this film till the interval is in sharp contrast to the disappointment I felt through most of the running time in the second half. And it has nothing to do with the performances, but all to do with Sukumar's disjointed and messy screenplay. This is an Allu Arjun movie and sadly absolutely is devoid of the magic showcased by Sukumar in Rangasthalam. The aspects that I loved the most about part 1 was the insight we were getting on the emptiness within Pushpa regarding his sense of home, feeling absolutely abandoned and filling that void with monetary riches so that he can feel more complete. And this is expanded well initially in the film, making you genuinely empathize with Pushpa beyond the gangster syndicate leader facade. The second aspect that we were most hyped for was the feud between Allu Arjun and Fahadh, and this in the first half packs in a lot of funny sequences, a lot of trash talk between the two characters. It simmers, the cat and mouse chase allows for the feud to become even more ripe, making you wonder that this is going to have such an exciting crescendo. But the way the screenplay is designed, it cuts down on the storytelling momentum so abruptly, does Fahadh Faasil so dirty in terms of screen time, and shifts focus randomly so frustratingly that you identify and acknowledge that somewhere in this mess, there could have been a perfectly entertaining commercial masala film that just went all over the place. Is it because of the production delays? Is it the hasty patchwork? Because you will literally see the film and assume it could have ended 30 minutes back, and it drags and trudges along to add random strangers as the new conflict, making you facepalm, and how it craps over all the brilliant momentum it had in the first half. I only have respect for what Allu Arjun gave to this role. Absolutely next level conviction. But I can't say that for the rest of the elements of the movie. Mid-action set pieces and forced elements. The film literally takes the shape of random set pieces versus a flow in storytelling. I love the audacity of Sukumar in this film, where he is going to introduce the character with a language that is alien to both the Telugu and the Hindi audience. But with audacity should also come conviction. But what is extremely sad is that every action set piece is not even the slightest bit grounded in reality. I mean, even a bit. The action choreography takes the shape of becoming acrobatics in this film. Allu Arjun as Pushpa is a superhero, physics defying to no end, and by its conclusion, defying all kinds of logic too, where it literally joins the territory of so bad it's good. The action sequence in the Japan port, and even what takes place after Allu Arjun's mesmerizing performance, are slow motion frames for posing to the camera versus a choreography from start to finish. What's also a huge stumbling block in truly having fun with this film is that it has a bunch of forced elements, one which includes a random Desh Bhakti integration. You, by the way, will never see Pushpa in this entire film to be proud of his country, but they randomly put the flag and chant Jai Hind for some pandering. You've got Rashmika in this film, who is basically horny all the time. And while I like the Hriday Parivartan within Pushpa in this film, where he has become completely woke and devoted to her, they try to make him to be this savior for all womankind of sorts. A man of such chivalry that you just get flashbacks of the first film and think, this is a bit too much. Rashmika has this monologue absolutely simping over her husband in an emotional scene saying, Pushpa naam nahi, brand hai, brand. Which was in sharp contrast to the depth of the dialogues, at least intended depth. Allu Arjun full emotion, full feel ke saath perform kar raha hai, but a lot of the things that surround him just don't match his dedication. Wasted character and feud. I was so waiting for Allu Arjun and Fahadh to feud together, and it is largely entertaining in the first half of this film. Genuinely fun banter, a tussle between egos, men willing to do anything to humiliate each other, anything to have the upper hand and not lose. This tussle leads to several entertaining scenes, but the way Sukumar designs his screenplay, he almost abandons the most entertaining part of the film for either some familiar drama or a random song, and it absolutely ruins the momentum of this film. Fahadh Faasil is so undercut in his role and becomes such a joke in the number of times he is easily beaten in terms of the red sandalwood trade, circumventing the purview of the police, that he does not even feel like a threat for Pushpa. I mean, Bhabar Singh was presented as this ruthless antagonist, and it's just Fahadh being frustrating and becoming a cartoon of sorts in part 2. Almost like a bumbling joker jumping around but constantly losing. The way they really nullify this feud into becoming a joke and then randomly shifting to this odd family angle with random new characters, it absolutely does a disservice to a film that could have been so much more. I'm telling you, this film is very entertaining till the interval, making you more frustrated because you think about its potential. The film genuinely had the potential to be 30 minutes shorter, for its main conflict to be its core, and for it to be a full Paisa Vasool experience. It may be celebrated by the masses because, well, films like this are not supposed to be that deep. But as I say this, I saw Allu Arjun pouring his heart out, even till the last frame. Even when the makers want to force an integration of this saga not ending and a part 3 coming. They're literally telling us ki aur bhi baki hai, huh? I genuinely believe Allu Arjun has been let down in this process, especially how this film shaped up in its concluding moments. Kudos for his dedication, but the screenplay was an absolute mess. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about Pushpa 2. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, the handle is right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.